continues to discuss. Honorable Triple A, well, the Ministry of Health has announced a temporary ban on handshakes and other forms of physical greeting following the confirmation of 2 Ebola cases in the country. Welcome to the show. You are watching UBC TV, coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Robert, good morning.
Good morning to you, Julie. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, it's a 50-50.
All right.
One, I lost someone very close to me. That is
sorry.
Victoria Nantongo, daughter to Reverend Canon David Sentongo, the late of Lunguja. Now, that is a very close relative to me because his father and my father are brothers, Rico brothers. So in Uganda, I would say nafiridwa mukuru wange.
Yeah, sister, I did.
And of course, burial is Thursday, and there will be prayer at Lunguja Church of Uganda tomorrow. Now, death is death, but also the NRM chairperson Kayunga district, Moses Karanga, perished in a road accident. Now, I've been following social media and various platforms following his death. There's something coming up here in Uganda. In Africa, us Africans, we don't celebrate death of people, however bad they could have been.
Right.
We don't celebrate death of people. And we have a saying, omufute bamusalira musango. But I think it is high time also when we are in places of authority and power to question our acts. Because there is no pain a person gets after losing their loved ones. And then the media is awash by people jubilating, people saying all utterances, you know. You grieve even deeper. So I don't know, but it speaks much. Us as Africans, that's not our culture. We leave it to God. Once you're dead, you're going for your judgment, you're going for whatever. But this issue of people dancing, making almost parties, jubilating, is something, it's not ours. Africans should desist. But it also speaks volumes to us in those places where you are. How do you conduct yourself? That when you're gone, your family won't have the pain of seeing such nonsensical acts being done by people who actually also are doing it out of the grief that they had at a particular time. So it speaks volumes. Then lastly, the ongoing investigations of the speaker. Someone cannot open a show without speaking about them. Yesterday I saw 2 cars. So
yes. The Triple A Range Rover and the Rolls Royce.
And it was a pain. Seeing from glory and all that is happening. But it's a time that we need to act against corruption. If these investigations, if those were taken as exhibits, we wait at the tail end. But I think this is, we've always craved for a precedent to be set in Uganda. And now, I want to say, we've always talked about the big fish. I want to say this time around, we are seeing what Ugandans have been craving for. However, I can only be excited at the tail end, because I remember even so people arresting people in Uganda over corruption. He's normalized.
Right.
But the tail end is where we don't understand. Remember people who went to prison here, the ministers, but the end, withdrawn case, withdrawn interest, this, so we wait.
All disappears in thin smoke.
Then finally, I cannot fail to talk about my joy of the night. That win. One more game to go.
One more game for Arsenal, if all goes well, to be considered the EPL champions.
Julie, I dream of that day. Even when I close my eyes, I just think of that day.
Well, still in more updates, just before we get onto the local scene, NMG Uganda journalists returned to Parliament yesterday. Quite a scene there. But also speaking of matters, Honorable AAA, there is a way when you look at the sports fraternity, everyone is awaiting to maybe find out or see what next or what happens for Honorable Magogo there. That is the FUFA president, amid, of course, his wife's battles currently.
Was he the speaker? He wasn't.
He was not.
So.
But when the government does what's this exercise, the recently concluded exercise of declaring assets, there's a way your spouses are included in what properties are they owning, you know. So in one way or the other, it affects you as a spouse. But also be reminded that, of course, Martyrs' Day celebrations were postponed, but that doesn't take away the fact that June 3rd will be Martyrs' Day, and it will be a public holiday, as confirmed by the Executive Director of the Media Center, Alan Kasuja. So be sure to know that your 3rd June, it's another public holiday on the calendar. I wonder if the postponement, whichever day Martyrs' Day will be celebrated as to postponed, will also be a public holiday. And as you guys love public holidays, they definitely look forward to that other one.
To those professions where public holidays matter.
Yes, to those professions indeed where...
Those in security, public holidays don't matter.
Media...
Those in media, public holidays don't matter.
I know. But anyways, on that note, what do we have on the local scene this morning?
There is no way you can start local stories without the AA investigations, triple A investigations.
Right.
Now, police towed 2 vehicles belonging to Anita Among, the Speaker of the 11th Parliament, from her residence in Wakiso district in the ongoing inquiry sanctioned by the head of state. The inquiry is examining allegations of unexplained accumulation of wealth, including the procurement of a Rolls Royce valued at 3.4 billion shillings. Investigators are also seeking to establish whether the source of funds used to acquire several high-value assets matches Among's declared income, and whether all assets were properly declared to the Inspectorate of Government. The civilian number plate Rolls-Royce was towed alongside a customized number plate Range Rover from Among's residence in Chigo. The vehicles were escorted under tight security to Naguru Police Headquarters in Kampala. Her residences are currently under strict surveillance, including properties at Chigo and Macnon Suits. Meanwhile, through her official X account on Monday the 18th May 2026, Among said she would cooperate with relevant authorities to establish the facts surrounding the allegations. She also announced that she will not contest for the speakership of the 12th Parliament, adding that she remains available for any assignment from the President. Security agencies are yet to issue an official statement about the ongoing investigations. The speakership race of the 12th Parliament has thrown the general public into sharp and divided decisions, with many not complimenting the end results. For aspirants that include Lydia Wanyoto and Florence Akiki Asimwe, say they are excited about the new twist of events on the speakership race. They have told the media in Kampala they will push forward till the last moment. With the endorsement of Jacob Oboth by the Patriotic League of Uganda Secretariat, Wanyoto and Akiki maintain that the party must abide by the rules and procedures without compromise. They also propose amendment in the party constitution to eliminate incompetent candidates. However, others say the ongoing leadership of Parliament, led by Anita Among, has deflected all parliamentary systems. The Saturday Mukono PLU endorsement of Jacob Oboth remains challenged, with others questioning its legality. Meanwhile, the NRM Electoral Commission is waiting for the party's topmost organ, SEC. The floor is open and the tune is one. However, The entertainers are many with one adjudicator. It is no longer a secret to the public that former Speaker of the 11th Parliament, Anita Among, could face corruption charges. There is a shift that exposes what started as a silent debate and what was described as a long hidden secret, that Anita Among has accumulated illicit wealth. The matter is now before investigating authorities, including police and sister security agencies. The former Speaker of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, Bernard Chintu, narrates how the former Speaker's action affected the integrity of Parliament and the NRM party. So Anita Among's withdrawal from the speakership race of the 12th Parliament could save the poor image of Parliament from worsening. The former leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, raised concern over the corruption allegations by the Parliamentary Commission headed by former Speaker Anita Among. Senyonyi questions the silence of the anti-corruption agencies, including the IGG, despite calls for intervention. The claims about financial mismanagement of the 11th Parliament also included dubious awarding of contracts to various projects, illegal recruiting of staff at Parliament. In the meantime, diversions of the iron sheets meant for the vulnerable communities in Karamoja, where former Minister of State for Karamoja Affairs, that is Agnes Nandutu, was convicted and sentenced to Luzira prison, are still vivid. Apparently, the NRM party is likely to front West Budama Central Member of Parliament, Maxon Jacob Oboth as the Speaker of the 12th Parliament. Now, finally, from the local news this morning, the Nubian community from Arua district, together with the Kebu and Lenyu communities from Zombo district, petitioned the Equal Opportunities Commission in May 2025, citing what they described as direct and indirect discrimination. During the tribunal hearing, representatives from the marginalized groups highlighted challenges including limited access to education, inadequate political representation, and lack of an ancestral homeland, among other concerns. They said they want full inclusion in all government structures and recognition of their local languages across different sectors, especially in early childhood education centers. Before the ruling, the tribunal considered submissions and evidence presented by both parties and testimonies from several witnesses. In its ruling, the Equal Opportunities Commission tribunal directed government and relevant agencies to establish policies and affirmative action programs that promote inclusion and protect the rights of marginalized communities. Some of the complainants have welcomed the ruling. Judy, do you know of these tribes? Okay, the Nubian community,
the Nubian
yes.
Community, maybe.
In Bombo, Ruwero, there are so many of them.
The ones they usually call Abanubi.
Very beautiful ladies.
I know. They have a really beautiful dark skin complexion.
Very beautiful, I must say. But then the Kebu.
The who?
Kebu.
I'm sorry.
The Lenyu.
No.
Those you don't know. I've not heard.
Are those among the 64 that are recognized?
Well, I doubt, because by the time they go to the Equal Opportunities Commission, now if someone is telling you I'm bringing a son, your son-in-law, is a Kebu, a Lenyu, you may have to find out so much about them.
The tribe, yes. Yeah. And of course you can only find out from the son themselves. Dig deeper, find out who they are, what they do, what their culture is like, and what you're getting yourself into, as even the spouse. The family might not mind, but
there's one local song that I love, so that made me laugh. I don't know who sang it, but it was showing of where a man married in a culture where they eat the firstborn. It's called Bamuliaso.
Fred Sebata.
Fred Sebata.
Yes, but is it really true? I don't think so. But anyways, cultures are rather unique. And right before we get into the foreign scene, the story with Triple A, There is a podcast called Bad Natives. Before the investigation sprang all over the news, there was a commentary by Andrew Mwenda that was rather interesting. That what if the chances are that Triple A is becoming the vice president or the prime minister? In this
The way things are happening.
In other words, taking her off, directly off infrastructure.
Now, this is what, the way things are happening, it will be as hard as a camel passing through the eye of a needle.
Interesting. Now let's have a look at what the foreign scene have. And we're starting with a rather sad story. 2 teenage attackers fatally shot 3 men at a mosque in San Diego, California, in a suspected hate crime before taking their own lives, says police. The assault took place yesterday morning as officers were investigating a call about a possibly suicidal teen who had run away from home. Police were alerted to the shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego and found 3 victims who had been shot in front of the building. Shortly afterwards, they received another call that shots had been fired nearby from a vehicle at a landscaper. Officers found the suspects, aged 17 and 18, dead of self-inflicted wounds in a vehicle not far from the mosque. And among the deceased victims was a security guard who worked at the center and played a pivotal role in preventing the attack from being much worse, officials said. It's fair to say his actions were heroic, San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall told a news conference. Undoubtedly, he saved lives today. Now, moving on, U.S. President Donald Trump has said he is holding off a military attack on Iran planned for Tuesday at the request of Gulf states as serious negotiations are now taking place. In a post on Truth Social, he said he had been asked to do so by leaders of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. He said he had been informed a deal would be made that is very acceptable to the U.S., adding there would be no nuclear weapons for Iran. But he warned the U.S. would be ready to go forward with a full large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice if there was no acceptable deal. A senior Iranian military commander told the U.S. not to make strategic mistakes and miscalculations again. Trump's latest announcement on Iran comes amid a drop in his approval rating, and as polls show the war is increasingly unpopular at home. Some 64% of voters believe it was the wrong decision to go to war with Iran, according to a New York Times Siena poll published on Monday. Interesting. Both countries shooting threats at each other. You'd wonder who takes it all at the end. But as they say, the winner takes it all, and we await to see that winner.
But they have put up a show.
They have put up a show. That's a fact. Now, looking at what Africa has, at least 100 deaths have been reported in an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with more than 390 cases suspected. The head of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has told the BBC. Jean Kaseya warned that with no approved drugs or vaccines, people should follow public health measures, including at funerals of Ebola victims. There are also 2 confirmed cases and 1 death in Uganda, says the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. The World Health Organization has declared the outbreak of the current strain of Ebola, which is caused by the Bundibujo virus, an international emergency. An American doctor in the DR Congo is among those with a confirmed case. The medical missionary group they were working with and the CDC has said. The individual, who has not been named, will now be taken to Germany for treatment. They told CBS News, the BBC's U.S. partner. CBS News also quoted sources as saying that at least 6 Americans have been exposed to the Ebola virus during the outbreak in the DR Congo. May God save us from this one as well. But that brings us to the end of what we have on the from the global scene, not the local scene, but rather from the global scene. It's about the time we sifted through quickly what the dailies have this morning.
But before you say may God save us, we know what we should do. Let's just not go into prayer and prayer. Prayer works, but we must have the standard operating procedures in place. We must avoid crowded areas. We must have temperature guns and test people. We are in an era where God has given us knowledge of science on how to prevent, avoid, and combat diseases. Now, the new vision here, ex-speaker's Rolls Royce impounded. Tayewa speaks out on contesting. Now, the meeting that sealed Among's fate. Now, there's a picture here, Julie, of the Rolls Royce being carried on a car carrier by police. But what they call the speaker's home, because you can see it there in this picture. Why is it called a home? This is a hotel. I think she was constructing a hotel.
That's the home she built. She wanted to stay in a hotel like home. Feel at home in a hotel like home.
Oh,
yeah.
Because to me, I don't call this a home. I can't have, this is a hotel. Now,
different things make a house a home. It's a house, but it's a home. At the end of the day, if it's treated as one.
When you age, this one becomes a burden. Now, commercial court to clear 320 banking cases in 2 weeks. Good there. Then development. Works Ministry evicts Ginger Road car pond. Now, this was also another issue yesterday. Them accusing of one of them who came there earlier wanting, it was just a marriage. Julie, here you go. Mother-in-law, when her love becomes control.
Yep. That. Mothers-in-law mwedeko.
But of course, there is no one for us men who treasure like our mothers.
That's so true. But when you're getting into marriage, you have to know that your first priority is your wife, not your mother.
My first priority has never been my wife. That I confess honestly.
And unfortunately, you're walking besides God and not with God.
It's my mother. It's
your
my
wife has
mother.
to be first. As the
My
Bible
wife
says,
phoned me when mommy has done everything. She came along
as the Bible
the way.
instructs man, not woman, man shall leave his mother and father and cling unto his wife. So if that's what God wrote, who are you to oppose God?
That thing was misinterpreted by many people.
No.
But the truth is, Julie, a mother, look at a pregnant woman, what she goes through. All raising you, everything.
But
your father
true.
can disown you.
That's true. So, it's not to disown your mother, but your priority is your wife.
Not me.
Whether you want it or not.
My priority
but let's move
is
ahead.
mama. Now, still skills training experts seek increased funding to boost girls' skilling. Now, let me quickly go to the Daily Monitor.
Right.
Now, in the Daily Monitor, AAA, that is AAA, drains out. Oh, she drains out. Then the mighty fall. 5 sacks of money recovered from among home detectives. 5 sacks of money?
Now we saw boxes coming out of the home, but with different B-rolls on social media of money. So is
the Daily Monitor.
Was that proof that it was money? Or?
5 sacks. Then how US sanctions knocked door open into Among's closet. And did Anita Among sense danger? That's a question. Did she sense danger? Then PLU versus NRM, who owns the cards and the dream car. There, you can see the dream car. But this car, Julie, for me, I wouldn't have 3.4 and buy. Doesn't. It's like a box.
Rolls Royce.
I would look for something. What I had in mind and what I saw.
It's a Rolls Royce.
Let it be, but for me, if you gave me that money, I'd go for something. It doesn't. Actually, even a latest model of a hammer would do for me better.
Looking at what the Daily Nation has, total paralysis. Well, in Kenya, I think Kenyans, the brand they have is they'll riot over everything. Given the fuel prices that are pulling and stretching almost everyone, a transporters strike over rising fuel prices grinds the country to a halt. And a few other stories to look into: return of goons, deaths, injuries, violence, and destruction as thugs take on police officers, and business shut. Day of losses for traders and firms. Kenyans keep off work while looters invade premises, and schools disrupted. Learners in a day school told to remain at home to ensure their safety, missing vital lessons. And Ruto takes action. President convenes meeting of top state oil industry chiefs to seek a solution to transport crisis. That is what's happening.
So they want to say the cost of fuel is more high in Kenya than in Uganda?
Yeah.
And if it is so, Uganda landlocked, Kenya not a landlocked? How do these, why is it that way?
Kenyans, they will tell you they don't settle for less. You Ugandans are used to being stepped on. For them, they are not dormant. That's all they will tell you. Anyways, looking at the Citizen from Tanzania, October 29th, Samia picks team to investigate criminality. That's the headline there, and it's a reminder of what took place in the 2025 general elections of Tanzania. But Takaful Insurance expands in EA amid awareness deficiencies, and government assurance on potential health deal with US and also Tanzanian tycoon. Nadi urges African firms to finance content's future, and local universities set for key role in digitization of land governance. Those are some of the stories we have in the dailies, allowing us to take a short break. When we get back, it will be another conversation. So save the number 0709 602592 so that you're able to be part of the conversation. For now, let's have a short break. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It is the 19th day of May 2026, and as Uganda continues to discuss Honorable Triple A, well, the Ministry of Health has announced a temporary ban on handshakes and other forms of physical greeting following the confirmation of 2 Ebola cases in the country. Welcome to the show. You are watching UBC TV, coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chiravo Nyonyintono. Robert, good morning.
Good morning to you, Julie. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, it's a 50-50.
All right.
One, I lost someone very close to me. That is
sorry.
Victoria Nantongo, daughter to Reverend Canon David Sentongo, the late of Lunguja. Now, that is a very close relative to me because his father and my father are brothers, Rico brothers. So in Uganda, I would say nafiridwa mukuru wange.
Yeah, sister, I did.
And of course, burial is Thursday, and there will be prayer at Lunguja Church of Uganda tomorrow. Now, death is death, but also the NRM chairperson Kayunga district, Moses Karanga, perished in a road accident. Now, I've been following social media and various platforms following his death. There's something coming up here in Uganda. In Africa, us Africans, we don't celebrate death of people, however bad they could have been.
All right.
We don't celebrate death of people. And we have a saying, omufute bamusalira musango. But I think it is high time also when we are in places of authority and power to question our acts. Because there is no pain a person gets after losing their loved ones. And then the media is awash by people jubilating, people saying all utterances, you know. You grieve even deeper. So I don't know, but it speaks much. Us as Africans, that's not our culture. We leave it to God. Once you're dead, you're going for your judgment, you're going for whatever. But this issue of people dancing, making almost parties, jubilating, is something, it's not ours. Africans should desist. But it also speaks volumes to us in those places where you are. How do you conduct yourself? That when you're gone, your family won't have the pain of seeing such nonsensical acts being done by people who actually also are doing it out of the grief that they had at a particular time. So it speaks volumes. Then lastly, the ongoing investigations of the speaker. Someone cannot open a show without speaking about them. Yesterday I saw 2 cars So
Yes.
AA.
The triple A Range Rover and the Rolls Royce.
And it was a pain. Seeing from glory and all that is happening, but it's a time that we need to act against corruption. If these investigations, if those were taken as exhibits, we wait at the tail end, but I think we've always craved for a precedent to be set in Uganda. And now, I want to say, we've always talked about the big fish. I want to say this time around, we are seeing what Ugandans have been craving for. However, I can only be excited at the tail end, because I remember even so people arresting people in Uganda over corruption. He's normalized.
Right.
But the tail end is where we don't understand.
I know.
Remember people who went to prison here, the ministers, by the end, withdrawn case, withdrawn interest, this, so we wait.
All disappears in thin smoke.
Then finally, I cannot fail to talk about my joy of the night. That win. One more game to go.
One more game.
Brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko.
Yo.
What? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's time for The Real. Welcome back from that short break. And if you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. And thank you for choosing UBC TV this morning. If you started the show with us, thank you for allowing us start your day from the beginning until where we are and until the end of it. It's time for The Real. And this morning, we are talking everything teachers, recruitment, education, learners, and students. Be part of the conversation, 0709602592. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, the government has started the process to recruit 1,333 secondary school students to serve at the 43 newly constructed seed secondary schools countrywide. Now, as part of the exercise, over 7,000 secondary school teachers who applied for jobs are being subjected to aptitude tests to measure their ability to perform. And the exercise, which started over the weekend at Makerere University's College of Computing and Information Sciences, is also underway at Mengo, Kololo, and Lubiri secondary schools in Kampala, and the above have been designed as testing centers by the Education Service Commission, the recruitment agency for government secondary schools and institutions. Now, with that at play, and now that you know that government has such a plan, recruitment of over 1,300 teachers beginning, do you think this will reflect to better performance, will reflect better student performances? Will it translate better performances by students and pupils, in your opinion? Be part of this conversation and share that in your opinion, does recruiting more teachers improve academic performance? 0709602592. And on X, the hashtag is UBCGMU at UBCTV Uganda. Now, looking at the number of learners to benefit once this is operationalized, each of the new seed schools can accommodate up to 1,500 new students. This implies that the new seed secondary schools will bring an additional 64,500 learners onto the Universal Secondary Education Program. And each of these new learners will automatically benefit from the government grants sent to the USE schools. And the unit cost for USE at O level was recently increased from 123,000 per learner yearly to 165,000 per learner annually, while at that A-level grade, it was raised from 240,000 per learner and increased to 270,000 Uganda shillings per learner. Now, currently, the government operates a total of 1,524 secondary schools, enrolling 1.3 million learners, majority being beneficiaries of USE. And according to the Education Ministry data, only 99 government secondary schools are not implementing the USE program. With those numbers at par, once again, allow me to remind you of your opinion to share. That in your opinion, does recruiting more teachers improve academic performance? Share your opinion, but of course I'm engaging Robert here to share his 2 cents in the matter. And I'll start by asking you, do you think this is achievable?
What, translating into performance?
Yes, translating. Of course, that recruitment has already started. But do you think it's achievable with all the factors at play?
Well, my answer would be 50-50. But on a strong ground standing, I would say it is achievable. However, there are gaps that hinder the possibility of this being achievable. First, I want to start by thanking government. For one, the seed schools, how many are they? If you're talking about the seed schools.
Well, seed schools the
new seed schools that are going to benefit from this.
These are 7,000, 43 new. The new ones are 43. 7,000 teachers that shall be
43 new seed schools. Now, these have been built in places where they were not. I want to thank government. Yes, this is a drop in the ocean, no doubt about it, given the demand. It's just a drop in the ocean. But at least there is a drop. That now children who've been trekking like pilgrims going to school, usually have traveled this country. And I want to thank the Bikers Association where I am, because we do travel, domestic tourism. We ride and go deep in villages, we ride. But whenever I go in these tours, I try to use my journalistic instincts to find the life of people that they are living. Where, Julie, we have children who make 5 miles to go to school. They have to go, they have to come back. Who move 3 miles to go to a school and return? Who move 2 miles to go to a school, study and come back? In one area, we say these children are very healthy because the exercises they do daily. They wake up, they go running. Now, if government brings a seed school in this area, it means distance has been reduced. Lives have been saved. We have girls in secondary who move long distances, and the temptations within these distances. You don't know how many children have been impregnated by these border men because of free rides. The student has to run to school or she will be penalized. Now this funny border man destroys this young girl's future simply because he's going to be riding her to school. Now, to me, this is a great step, having these 43 seed schools. I want to commend government. Yes, I know one would say Chirabo, but we have, yes, but this has been put in place. Then also going ahead to recruit. I want to commend government. These are steps in the right direction. They may not be sufficient enough, but at least the journey is starting. At least there's continuity of what started. Now, away from that, I want to mention gaps or call them weaknesses. One, when a teacher gets on a payroll of government, Judy, these people who sound permanent and pensionable, not like you and me who have contracts renewed after 3 years based on performance. A headmaster cannot chase a teacher or remove them from a payroll. Even if he complains, maybe what can happen is a transfer to another school. Permanent and pensionable. When a teacher gets on that payroll, that person becomes a demigod. I want to use that in one way. In a government school. So that is one thing that must be addressed. How do we ensure that these people can be checked, can have contracts are renewed depending on performance? Why you and me, we wake up very early? Because when I'm filling my appraisal forms, my supervisor renting me, and you have to be very honest to yourself, if they put timekeeping, Robert, but Robert, you know, first give yourself marks. Then Fred Chomohendo will say, no. Chirabo, here you don't. 5, no. Here 2, on this day, on this. So, we need, and you have to have an average for your contract to be renewed. So, we need to do that to teachers as well. 2, having a school and having teachers. Do we have the equipment, Judy?
Very key. Very key. Infrastructure,
because
laboratory.
Teaching with this new curriculum, teaching is practical.
Right.
You must have what, it's no longer that theoretical that you would come with a book, a pamphlet, our days of school. It was your brain to stand how much can you remember and regurgitate on the paper. That is why some of us, when it came to history, who are good at remembering, you'd have your 9 days, you'd have your, you'd have English, your 9 days when it came to math. Now. Julie, the music would change a bit.
All right.
Because we had the brains that can recall and store.
That cannot calculate.
But had their issues. When you bring them formulas here, you know, you tell them.
The YDX.
Leave alone that. This thing of like shortcuts, I'll remember that later. Now, education has changed. You need the equipment. You're in the day of AI, ICT. We're in the days where children must have exposure. I remember one time I went to some school and I wanted to test their understanding. So that, hey, you have this guy on TV. So I asked a P7 class and I said, I'm going to ask a question and I need an answer. A kilo of feathers and a kilo of stones, which one weighs more?
Stones.
A kilo of feathers and a kilo of stones, which one weighs more?
Stones.
Okay.
Okay.
Julie, they are both kilos.
Yeah, but feathers are light.
No, they weigh the same.
And stones are heavy.
No, it's a kilo of stones and a kilo of feathers.
Interesting.
And all of them were a kilo of stones.
Each one a kilo.
Each one said, no, a kilo of stones weighs more. So I just said, let me move out of here. I wish you, they were about to do the happy LE. I told them, I wish you the best. Success in your exams, may you pass with flying colors.
Right.
Because I knew now we have a challenge. Now, that is the curriculum.
But I think you've even gone far. Last year, there was a report, I forget from which district, where children were tested and between P3 and P4, they could not read and write.
No, that is also. So, but you need booklets, you need to teach reading, we have the teachers, very good, we have the schools, I told you there are gaps for this to translate into performance. Now, if you don't have what it takes to teach, it's like us coming to do the show and we don't have microphones, we don't have rappels on us. Our sound will not come out. You don't have the lightening, the lights. So a teacher will be in class, but believe you me, if they don't have what it takes to teach, they will not teach, to not reflect so much. Second, let's look at monitoring and supervision. If there is any profession today, you go to third term, where there is moonlighting, it is in the teaching profession. I know government teachers on government payroll, in government schools, call it secondary, they are good teachers. But because they are good teachers, most of the times they're not at their designated stations. They are moonlighting. Despite the fact that there is increased pay, they are moonlighting in several schools. They have workshops, they have seminars. You know, a teacher who is good in mathematics in a universal secondary education, if you check how often he's there at that school, because they are spotted by directors.
Well, I guess now with the increment, the story might change.
It doesn't change. You know, mankind was created very funny. I don't know why God chose to. Man never gets satisfied. It is only the rules that can keep, and the laws keep man in check.
That's why I'm saying that now the government will have more rules to keep.
Have you seen the system change? I first told you these were not working on contract basis. If there is anything, you're the headmaster, so what? If I've not attended, are you going to write, what are you going to do that can hinder me from continuing with my teaching? I'm on a government payroll. You can talk, you can complain. Because even if I'm removed from here, I'll be taken to another school. Now, monitoring and supervision where it is lacking, even if a second teacher is getting 4 million, Judy, but he knows when I go, I'll use schools I've gone to. But he knows when I go to St. Mary's Chitende, and I have a seminar, there's a way they call them, taking you through math or what, something like that. Doctor will give me 800, 1 hour, or 500. Judy, I'm not going to sit and wait for 4 million, yet that particular day I'm getting 500,000. What can keep me there is if there is a system
that monitors you.
That monitors me. Julie, if you had, we always get gigs to MC here on corporate functions. Hotel Africana, where. But how many do we forsake? Because, you know, if I'm not on that set, you either tell them I can't do the whole day, give me the evening shift. And they'll tell you, Robert, if you're going to come in for the evening shift, if you're supposed to get this money, we're giving you a half. But I would want the whole money. But it has an impact if I don't come for this show, if I don't come and do this show. So I'll go with the less money. All their gigs, you say, you're up country, I can't. Because the system at UBC holds me accountable if I miss a show. Now, if that is not for a teacher, even if it weren't for me, definitely I would go and pick that man. Why 1.5? Why would I take a 500 yet I can get 1 million? Now, that monitoring system is still a challenge in government schools. The other issue, much as salary has been increased, in these schools, the issue of accommodation of teachers still remains a challenge. Where most of the schools we used to go to had what we call staff quarters. Teachers were nearby. Teachers would reside in schools almost. Now, today, mostly in those remote areas, because these schools are not here in Central, they're in remote areas. If you don't concentrate more on teacher accommodation, teachers will come late because of transport issues. Teachers will not have so much attention there because your teacher would even rush and check on the food she's cooking and come back to class. Supervise her children. Break time, she may say, I'm going to go to the staff room, but she goes home simply to the staff quarters. Now, accommodation remains another challenge because a teacher, if she has to rent or has to rent, he will look for a house cheaper to save more. If the houses there, the good houses, say they are for 700, a teacher will not go for that house. Say, but if they tell her some kilometers away, you can get at the same house at this amount of money, the teacher will go, but that distance will affect the children's performance. Then finally, these are going in government schools. Ask the parents, the guardians, our mindset and how we are devoted to children in government schools. I'm a leader in a place known as Machindi Mubaraka. It is a zone. I'm on the local council. Julie, we have a government school there, and that is military barracks primary school. And I want to thank government. It has really invested in this school. But we have children who come barefooted here in Kampala.
In that school?
Yes.
Wow.
How much is you call this
plastic?
I think there is a common term called nigina. How much are they? We still have children who come in torn uniforms and you volunteer. Tell you, Chilabo, this child is bright. Say, hey, Ramika, mwana wani, you know. Even something to put in the stomach. And this is a very big challenge, feeding. Julie, your brain, when you're hungry, has a limited level that it can take in.
That's true.
We are here. We woke up around 3 something.
So that means we have not yet eaten.
We've not yet eaten. But by 10, if Julia and I have not eaten anything, my friend, even if you give me a show, am I lying? Now, we are looking at this child who woke up, trekked to our school. You're teaching on an empty tummy. He's thinking of a garden outside school. How they are going to uproot cassava. Where they're going to get a mango. Where they are going to get something. So these are the gaps I said that may not translate into performance of these children.
In your opinion, does recruiting more teachers improve academic performance? Share what you think to 0709-602592 and on to our X handle at UBC TV Uganda. The hashtag is UBCGMU. Good morning, Julie and Robert. I must say yes, if teachers are motivated fully. This is Osire John Francis in Chaliwajala, Namugongo. Thank you, Osire, for being on the show. Now, Robert, the numbers that are that I read, where learners are to benefit, I could reiterate them and just tell me what what interpretation you get from this calculation. Once operationalized, when the recruitment process is complete, each of the new seed schools, that is the 43 new seed schools, can accommodate up to 1,500 new students. Now, this implies that the new seed secondary schools will bring an additional 64,500 learners onto the Universal Secondary Education Program. And each of these new learners will automatically benefit from the government grants sent to the USE schools. Now, the unit cost of a learner at O level under USE was recently increased from 123,000 Uganda shillings per learner annually to 165,000 Uganda shillings per learner annually. And at A level, it was increased from 240,000 Uganda shillings per learner annually to 270,000 Uganda shillings per learner annually. And at currently, the government operates a total of 1,524 secondary schools, enrolling about 1.3 million learners, majority being beneficiaries of the USE program. What do you interpret when you listen to these numbers? First and foremost, I'm not so sure how these monies are able to benefit a learner, because at primary level, I think it's 20,000.
Also revised?
It was also revised, I forget to what amount. But annually, it beats my understanding always. I somewhat can't put my brain around it, but interpret the numbers from your perspective and understanding.
First we must understand, these monies look small. But when you look at the number of children, these monies are much. If you're looking at 227,000.
That is for A level?
227,000.
From 240,000 per year to 270.
Now just multiply this
per year
by 1,000 children.
Okay.
If we assume only 1,000, how much money is that?
Right.
That government is injecting. That's why sometimes when I talk about advocating for children by choice, not by chance, when I say I'm an ambassador of family planning, when I say that if you gauge right, there is something you advocate for us, although religious leaders, I hope my father is not watching the show right now, or my pastor, or any of my relatives. Something that we say, let's legalize it, you know? Because sometimes we blame government. And okay, education is a right, it's a human right. But also look at the burden that we put on our government. When you and your husband are sleeping and making babies, government is not there. Now, but when it comes to education, I told you if you multiply that is just A level, one child.
It's about 270 million.
Now, do you think we only have 1,000 A level students? Second, government is paying the teachers. It is paying other bills like water, you know, electricity. Now, at the end of the day, just that education has been over-commercialized. But if teachers are being paid, buildings were constructed by government. Now, even some scholastic material comes through government. This money per child is not much. I want to use the word, it is a drip in the ocean. But we must also appreciate that given the huge volume of students that these monies go to, when you look at them, it is a lot of money that government is sinking into this sector as well.
Right.
Education is a priority, but you can only cut a coat according to your cloth.
Right.
But also not to say that we mustn't look at education as a priority and when giving budget allocation, give it bigger. But our budget in education has progressively been increasing. Teachers, enrollment, scientists, now this financial you're having arts teachers. So gradually, we are seeing these improvements. So the money has also been improved. More monies. So there is progress. The only problem is, one would say, we are moving at a snail pace. We would have done better. But also when you're in the driver's seat, you may also look at priorities differently from us outside.
That's true.
Now, I go to the ratio of student-teacher. There the math is not mathing very well, according to what is recommended. The ratios do not match very well. Student to teacher, when you look at these 43 schools and the number of teachers that have been, that are going to be recruited, the math doesn't math very well. But still, one would say, maybe more recruitments will come later. But also we forget that we have high school dropout rates. What you assume sometimes as students to benefit from this, many are going to drop out and they will not turn in. So we must also address factors that are leading to high school dropout rates in Uganda. Julie, previously, boys were not dropping out so much. But recently I looked at statistics. Boys, there is a silent issue that we are not addressing. We've worked so much, affirmative action, girl child, girl child, girl child, good, because of our history, our culture. But we now have to look at the boy child. Are you aware today many boys are dropping out of school to hustle for their sisters to continue with school, for their siblings to continue with school? Because you're the boy in the family. You can go to a stone quarry, you can go what? Your sister cannot do so much. So today we are having very many boys dropping out of school compared to the girls. The girls are dropping out because of pregnancy, where unfortunate things happen. And our school and our education system now allows even pregnant girls to study and do exams. You will see them. But the boy child will tell you, I had to move out of school for my siblings. So we need to address, and this is affecting, you may have these numbers, but many. Then this devil called border. Are you aware? There are very many people who would have gone to school and completed, if not this border thing that someone gets even on loan. You have no money on you. You have a national ID, someone who can stand as surety, maybe who got a border before you. So the father just tells the son, your uncle can stand surety for you. Genda bakuwe board of ge. Many children are dropping out of school
because of quick money.
Because the border, they will tell you, yeah, with the border, even if you tell your wife, just there is no food, and just tell her, no, take a car, the man just, within a short time, you've gotten money for posho. Within a few seconds, you have money for sauce.
In a day, you at least sleep with about 30 to 50,000
yes.
daily.
Now, that is another demon killing destiny of our children.
Right. Now, let's chew on some of the comments that are coming through. As we begin to close the conversation, we do have, good morning, family. I'm Cricket Derek Gargamel. It's a good initiative for starters because numbers always determine the amount of work to be done. Some of the reason why our illiteracy levels are still high is because of understaffing. You find one teacher teaches one subject a day in 4 schools. For sure, he or she can't do it effectively. Maybe my worry will be on the qualities of teachers, of these teachers. Some of them just hold degrees but lack professional ethics of teachers. Once they get on payroll, then it's a done deal. They begin giving less value to their jobs and begin behaving like illiterate and ignorant people. Thank you very much, Cricket Derek. And somebody else comes through and says, good morning, thank you for the show. I'm Muslim, live in Manafwa, recruiting more teachers. To me, it won't improve anything to this government school because no one cares that's to say management. Because there's a seed school I know here, it's built in a pine forest. I think you meant plain forest in the mountain, and the students have turned this as a lodge in broad daylight and no staff cares. Thank you, Muslim, for sharing your experience. Good morning. This is Uncle Joe Rukunjiri. I'm just wondering, where is Uganda heading education-wise? Imagine what the S6 of this year is going to do exams of the old curriculum, yet they study new curriculum in O-level. Then wondering teachers who are teaching new curriculum, but we're not trained about the curriculum they are teaching. And I'm still wondering how they're balancing the salary of teachers, how the English teacher is paid less than the science teacher who teaches science in English. This is Uncle Joe. Good morning, Julie and Robert. This is a great move in the education sector. With the new curriculum, I think standards and quality of teachers should be set to get quality output of learners for the betterment of our country. This is Edson Mohanji, who is in Entebbe. Edson, always a pleasure having you. Good morning, UBC and the fellow viewers. Yes, it does improve. But are you aware that there are seed schools in villages where teachers are recruited, but they never teach there? Instead, they hire senior 6 leavers to teach in their positions, and the head teacher is aware of it and also has a share on that teacher's salary, on the salary of the teacher who's recruited. And this teacher stays in Kampala to make money from good-paying private schools. A lot is still in need, especially in regards to monitoring. This is Xavier Omadi, watching from Kampala here. And finally, good morning, Uganda. I wish next time you bring a teacher to talk about the issues of teachers. Williams from Zombo District. Thank you, Williams, for being
We've always brought
on
teachers.
The show. And indeed, we've always brought teachers. Definitely looking forward to bringing another teacher to speak into the same matter. Hi, I'm Opio. Daniel, recruiting 1,300 teachers doesn't improve anything. That's indeed. And Subuga says, hi to you too. What, in your opinion, do you think is recruiting 1,300 teachers to 43 new seed schools? Do you think it will improve student performance? Share your opinion. As we conclude, Robert, with all the comments that have been shared and as you've listened, how do you conclude? Where do you think the light is shining?
Well, first I want to thank our viewers, those that have sent in messages, and those that haven't. But of course, you do us good when we get to hear from you. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you. Now, when you listen through the comments, many believe that this could change, but the biggest challenge we have is that there are gaps that must be dealt with. And if we don't deal with these gaps, that's why many messages, many opinions were very clear that we won't see better results. So I think this is good for the ministry to pick up on this, address these gaps, because all these gaps can be dealt with. I think the biggest is feeding. Empty stomachs, feeding in schools. That is the biggest. But as far as monitoring and supervision, I want to believe that this is something we can do. Yes.
Surely indeed. Surely indeed. So it looks like indeed there is light at the end of the tunnel, as long as screws and nuts are bolted tight. Just a few things here and there to make it actually work and have a future for Uganda's education. Not just talk, not just on paper, but actually in action. For now, we bring it to a close. We do have a lot in store for you, so stay tuned. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
I know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akantwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
Good morning and March. Thanks for being with us. Welcome to the business segment. Now, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency through Japan Academia has partnered with Ugandan software developers company Masifasasa Company Limited to launch an artificial intelligence pod aimed at promoting Ugandan innovations on the Japanese market. The platform is expected to eliminate existing barriers, especially language challenges, to ease communication and cooperation.
The AI Pod initiative by the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA through Japan Academia in partnership with Marifasasa Company Limited seeks to create a platform that opens up opportunities for Ugandan software engineers within the Japanese technology ecosystem.
Uganda has a Ugandan startup can make or can create a good idea, but if other company can copy easily, it means other company from overseas, they have more money. It means they can more easy to develop this good business model or good product to the Ugandan market.
ICT companies or software engineering firms in Uganda to now start directly collaborating with companies in Japan who need their services because of the language barrier that has been removed as we speak now. So that is really essentially what this AI pod is all about.
The platform will address existing barriers ranging from language limitations to technological disparities.
So working with a team in Japan, there is going to be an exchange happening on either side. Around work culture, for example, communication styles. You begin to have this exchange happening naturally once you remove the language barrier.
We cannot explain my consideration or my feelings or my very deep concern without use Japanese. But in 3 days, we can use AI-based translation, and that can apply to the English world.
Through this arrangement, Uganda innovators will participate in the business process outsourcing strategy that unlocks employment opportunities.
Opening up a platform that helps us to attract more Japanese companies to be able to outsource work to Uganda. That will bring more jobs to Uganda. That will bring more jobs to our young engineers who will be able to find meaningful and dignified employment opportunities. We are, of course, guided by the data protection laws that exist, within the country. Things like the domiciling of data and all of that.
All Ugandan startups enrolled on the BizLink platform will benefit from a 30 days free AI pod access window to market their innovations. Abdul Nasser Lobama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Well, thank you, Abdul Nasser Lobama. Now, clashes broke out between protesters and security forces in Nairobi yesterday over rising fuel prices, bringing moments across parts of Kenya's capital to a standstill. Now, the strike, dubbed Reject Fuel Prices, began at midnight on Monday, 18th, after Matatu, called the Minbuses operators, and other transport groups suspended services following a call by the Transport Sector Alliance. Footage shows protesters setting fires in streets, throwing stones and erecting barriers, while security forces moved to disperse the crowds. One operator is seen receiving treatment after being wounded in this.
Hata polisi wameanza kuua.
Na sisi kama watu wagaji wa Gashie tumechoka na hii mambo ya Ruto. Tanzania mafuta iko chini, Uganda mafuta iko chini. Kwani sisi ndio tulifanyia Kenya nini? Kwani tulizaliwa wapi?
Nikikuja hapa the first time nilikuwa na vida fulani hadi hizi nikaambiwa nishidelete.
Hiyo tunasema Ruto one term. Ruto one term. Ruto one term. Alafu polisi wanapiga risasi.
Kuuliza President Ruto kama hii ndio Singapore ambayo alikuwa anatuambia. Amepandisha mafuta. Sisi mayouth tumechukua ID zimefungwa. Anapiga nazo kura. Why?
Kidogo kulipue.
Hawa lazima waitisha reinforcement.
Wakati Ruto alikuwa anaingia kwa serikali, alikashifu Uhuru. Akasema ni mambo na taxes inafanya mafuta inaongezeka. Yeye ameingia kwa serikali, amepandisha.
Well, that is what happened in Kenya yesterday. The source is Visual News, and it's where we were able to get that images. A question: fuel is cheaper in Uganda, fuel is cheaper in Tanzania, why Kenya? I love that from one of the people in that clip. But of course, that doesn't reduce fuel prices. We should move away from violence, and we strongly condemn acts of violence as a way of showing dissatisfaction. And that brings us to the end of our business news. We return with the agenda. Keep it with us.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
I know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akantwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.